guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an update on Vivian regarding her surgery, how everything went, and how recovery is going. So today, when I'm filming this, we are exactly 1 week out from her surgery. Before I get into the update and the video, I really want to start off by saying a huge thank you. Thank you for all of the thoughts, the prayers, the messages, the flowers, the coffee, the food, just everything. Both Trevor and I feel so incredibly blessed by the community that we have and the people that care about our family and care about Vivian. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, truly, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't say it enough. So with that, we are home and we are thriving. I can't even believe that it's been 1 week since Vivian had her surgery, and it's almost like she never even had a surgery. So far, her recovery has gone far better than Trevor or I could have even hoped for, honestly. Her surgery was on a Wednesday morning. We got the phone call the night before that we needed to be at the hospital at 6:30 a.m. for check-in. I woke up at 3 a.m. and nursed Viv because that was the last time she could have anything to eat or drink. Well, that was the last time she could have breast milk. She had to stop eating at midnight. She could have breast milk until 3:30, and then she could have water and Pedialyte until 4:30. But after that, she couldn't have anything. So I woke up at 3 a.m. so that I could nurse her, so that hopefully she would be well hydrated for when they had to put an IV in her before her surgery. After I nursed her, I ended up just staying awake. Trevor and I got ready and we left the house around 5:30, 5:40 to get to the hospital and park and get in so that we could check in. After we checked in, we went back into the pre-op area where a nurse came in, took some vitals, asked some questions, and then we saw probably, I don't even know, 1,000 different people, it felt like, that came through and just got our consent for surgery, talked about what plan they had. We talked to anesthesia, we talked to pain management, we talked to the doctor who was doing the surgery. I mean, we talked to everybody. They decided to give her some medicine before they separated her from us because she was pretty clingy and we all felt that there was no way she was going to go with them willingly, as most 1-year-olds wouldn't. So she got an oral medication, and within 10 minutes or so, she started looking kind of loopy, was still totally awake, but just kind of drowsy, I guess. By 7:30, she was heading off to the OR and Trevor and I were saying our goodbyes, and that was when the wait began. The whole surgery took about 5.5 hours, but it felt like 5.5 years. They gave us a pager that they would send updates to, and they told us that they would send us an update about every hour. At one point during the wait, it was almost 2 hours before we had gotten an update, so we actually went up to the 4th floor and asked for an update, and luckily by that point they were getting ready to close. We ended up going down and getting some lunch while we waited, and by the time we were done with lunch, they were paging us to come and meet with the doctor. When we met with the doctor, he told us that he was able to go in and re-implant both of her ureters, and he was able to remove the ureterocele that was in her bladder. He felt like everything was a success. He wanted to keep the Foley catheter in for an extra day only because of the location of where the ureterocele was in her bladder. I guess it was close to the bladder opening, and so he wanted to make sure that everything healed up really well before pulling the Foley. So ordinarily, he would have taken the Foley out after the first day. So her surgery was Wednesday. He would have taken it out on Thursday. But because of where the ureterocele was located and because he wanted to give her an extra day of healing, he didn't take it out until Friday morning. After we met with the doctor, it was probably another 30 or 40 minutes before we were able to go back and see Viv. But man, oh man, was it a huge freaking relief when we finally got to see her. She was laying on her belly in the crib on top of her llama, just like she sleeps at home. They told us that the minute they took her breathing tube out, she flipped right over and wanted to be on her belly, which isn't a huge surprise because this is a kid that hates being on her back for any amount of time. We were only in the PACU for a short time, and then they got us a room up on the 12th floor and we made our way up there. As soon as we got to the room, she was ready to nurse right away. So I had decided that I was going to wait to start weaning her from nursing until after her surgery. And I'm really glad that I waited because nursing seemed to be the only thing that really gave her comfort that whole first day, which was exhausting for me, but I was glad that I was able to provide her some comfort after everything she had been through that whole morning. The first day and night were pretty rough. She was mostly groggy and tired, and her throat, I think, was bothering her from being intubated. It seemed like she kind of had a dry cough, and like I said, the only thing that really soothed her was nursing. She did eat an entire popsicle, which is unheard of. Trevor and I were pretty exhausted, mentally, physically, emotionally, any way possible. We were tired. So the first night was rough. We were all tired. I thought we were gonna kill each other at one point, but we didn't. We made it through and we still love each other, so that's good. By Thursday, she was doing amazing. She was eating and drinking. She was walking around and dragging the Foley catheter bag with her wherever she would go. She still had an IV in at that point. They were giving her Toradol, which is an IV medication similar to like Motrin. And she was also getting an antibiotic. By Thursday evening, she was all done with her IV meds, and we were actually able to pull the IV, which was really nice. It gave her more freedom to move around. Then she also had her hand free because the IV was actually in her hand. Honestly, it was insane. It didn't even seem like she was sliced open the day before. She was just ready to party, wanting to play. Didn't seem like she was in any pain or discomfort. We were still giving her around the clock Motrin, Tylenol. Well, she was getting the Toradol, and then she was getting Tylenol and a medication for bladder spasms. But honestly, she was just thriving. Even the doctors were surprised with how well she was handling everything. So like I said, her surgery was Wednesday, and by Friday morning, the urology team came in, took a look at her, and decided they were ready to pull the Foley. Once the nurses did their shift change, the day nurse came in and we removed the Foley right away. Being a nurse who has removed lots of Foleys and knows that sometimes kids can have some bladder retention after a Foley is removed, I didn't think that she was going to pee for a little while. And in order for us to be discharged, she needed to have a couple of wet diapers to show that she isn't holding on to her urine. After they pulled the Foley, I went downstairs to get some breakfast for Trevor and I and some coffee because I figured it would probably be a little while before she peed and we probably wouldn't be discharged until later in the afternoon, early evening. As soon as I got back to the room with breakfast, she had already peed. So we changed her, everything looked really good, and the nurse came in and paged the doctor, and by the time the doctor came by to see us, she peed again. So he wrote for discharge orders, and we were actually able to get out of the hospital before noon on Friday. They sent us home with a prescription for some of the bladder spasm medication and told us that we could give her Tylenol and Motrin for any incisional pain she might be having. For the first full 2 days at home, I gave her Motrin and Tylenol all during the day, and I did give her the bladder spasm medication for the first 2 days. But honestly, after that, I decided to stop and only give it if it seemed like she needed it. And honestly, she didn't need it. She was not acting like she was in any pain. She was playing, acting like her total normal self, eating, drinking, pooping, all of the things that kids do, she was doing like she never even had a surgery. Her doctor told us the only things that we needed to avoid for the first 2 weeks were bouncy toys and anything that she would straddle, so like a bike or anything like that. He told us no baths or swimming, at least for the first 10 days, to give that incision a chance to fully heal. We've just been doing sponge baths, which Viv totally loves. Overall, her recovery has been absolutely amazing. It truly is miraculous and remarkable how quickly she just bounced back from having this 5.5-hour long surgery. She is her fun, spunky, sassy little self, and Trevor and I are so happy about it. Again, I just want to thank everybody for all of the love and support that was given to us during this whole process. It was easily the hardest thing I've done in my life to date, and I wasn't even the one having surgery. It really is totally crazy how your heart exists outside of your body once you have kids. Being a parent is honestly the hardest, greatest, most rewarding, most challenging job in the whole world, and I wouldn't change 1 second of it. So with all of that, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I will definitely do another update in about a month when she has her follow-up with the doctor. She's also gonna have another VCUG to test and make sure that the reflux is all gone. Until then, she will remain on her prophylactic antibiotics, so she will have to keep taking a medicine every day until the end of October. But hopefully, if everything looks good in that follow-up appointment, we can come off that medicine and she can just go on with her life, and we can all just go on with our lives and only follow up yearly or even less than that. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Mondays and Thursdays. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.